Hey everyone, Meteorologist Ryan Hoke here with a Saturday morning edition of the Hokey video blog. Hope things are going well on this first weekend morning here for you. Hey, we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms not only for the morning but for the afternoon. Not everybody gets wet, but certainly quite a few of us do. We will go over that in detail in just a second. Let's talk about today's Hokey weather fact first, and we're talking about fronts. The fact that fronts and the differences in air masses and how that all works wasn't developed until 1919 by a guy named Bjørknes in Norway. It's called the Norwegian cyclone model, and it's how the low pressure and the high pressure works with all the fronts involved. And it's taught still today in meteorology school, like I learned just a few years ago. And this stuff, considering the realm of science that we have that goes back hundreds of years, is relatively recent, less than 100 years old. Severe weather forecasting, 50s, 60s, and 70s, even the 80s when that was developed. So, hey, this stuff's not old at all. In fact, it's fairly cutting edge, the stuff that we use to forecast and that we show you each and every day on television. Fairly nice looking sunrise from our Kentucky One Health SkyTrack camera at U of L Hospital. Got a few clouds in southern Indiana, all thanks to these downpours that have developed this morning. They're now moving through our northwestern counties. Jackson County is next in line to see these. They're going to be dissipating as they move toward I-65 because we're going to be losing that nocturnal low-level jet overhead that kind of keeps that warm, moist jet of air flowing into these, because once the sunrise happens, you get these updrafts and it blocks that low-level jet from happening. So I think we'll see these weaken somewhat as they move toward I-65. It's not going to be dry completely across our 29 counties, even as we move through noontime, but there will be somewhat of a lull as we go through the late morning hours and into the early afternoon. Now, by late afternoon, more of these fire up across our southern Kentucky counties, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Otherwise, the front, it's off to our north and west now, and as we go throughout the afternoon, that's going to be when we see that next storm chance. Currently in the 60s outside the city with lower 50s from E-Town to Campbellsville down there. Got some 70s out ahead of the front, basically Evansville through Bedford at this point. Sometimes in front of these cold fronts you get a pooling of moisture that helps the temperatures rise up because the dew points are up as well. You can't have a temperature below the dew point, only at or above it. So that's why that happens. It's kind of an interesting phenomenon that happens there. Futurecast by 9 o'clock this morning. It's not really on par with what exactly is going on, but I think it's got the afternoon chance in pretty good shape here. By 2 o'clock, some of these begin to spark right in front of the front. By 4 o'clock, it's a pretty broken line of storms. Notice how most of the storms are northeast of us by that point. That'll be the story today. Only showers and thunderstorms for us. The stronger stuff well to our north. No severe weather today. How about them apples? Pretty good, right? Tonight we get down to the 60s and eventually the 50s for overnight lows. Kimberly an upper 40-degree reading or two. I think that's a pretty good deal, don't you? Now, as we go throughout the 7-day breakdown, you'll see how we do have those temperatures in the 70s for the second part of the weekend. The rain chance is maximized as we go through about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Then it begins to nosedive as we go throughout the rest of the day. The Gaslight Festival, might want to take a poncho or an umbrella out there. It's going to be a brief shower and thunderstorm chance if it does happen out there, so don't let it ruin your plans today. Just plan to take it indoors for a couple minutes or to take the poncho to any of those events. Downs after dark should be settling down into the 60s with a low rain chance as we go throughout the very start of the event. Now for Sunday, the cooler air, it's going to be with us as we go throughout most of your Sunday. In fact, all of it there. Confidence meter at a 10 on that one. Louisville AIDS Walk is going on. It'll be cooler in the mid-70s by 3 and 4 and even 5 o'clock. Not a rain chance in sight through that time. Wednesday is when we have the start of fall. It officially starts at 4:21 a.m. September 23rd there. Put that on your calendars. And as we start fall, we're actually going to start just a little bit above average on temperatures there. So if you're heading out to the Wave 3 News concert series, our little band will be performing. We'll have food trucks out there as well. 11 o'clock, 70 degrees. 1 o'clock, 79. It, of course, starts at the KFC Yum Center at 11 a.m. Give you a quick look at the earliest alert outlook, and you'll see how we've got a mix of 70s and 80s for the next week. Only real rain chance is September 28th here. We're going to have a dry stretch of weather. It's going to be abnormally dry through at least that time and beyond. We're going to start October, it looks like, in the 70s. That's all I've got now for the Hokey video blog. Thanks for watching. We will see you again on Wave 3 News Sunrise this morning from 8 to 9 a.m. We've got a special hour there planned. And again, I will see you tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. Have a great Saturday.